Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. Life can be a little bit miserable, life can be a little bit dark, so we're here to bring you just a smidgen of joy and a little bit of light, maybe lots of light. I don't know, I forgot what my own opening is. So thankfully I'm joined by Bradley, not thankfully I'm Bradley, but I'm Bradley, and thankfully I'm joined by the level head, the sensible one, Stu. How you doing, Stu?
Well, if I'm being relied on to be sensible, then we're all in trouble. But yeah, no, I'm not too bad. Yeah, there's loads of negative I could talk about, but there's loads of positive as well. So, Christmas is coming, got the gifts, I've got time off over Christmas. Yeah, I'm getting into it a little bit now.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
No.
When it comes to Christmas, we've got... Lorraine gets paid on the 23rd. The Friday just before, so we're going out Saturday. No, she gets paid on the 22nd, that's it, because that's the Friday. We're going out on the Saturday, the 23rd, and just getting it all done.
Yeah, well, God, why not?
Because, yes, that's where you want to be, is out shopping on the 23rd, the last day, with every other muppet out there.
Well, sometimes you just have to, don't you? But yeah, just get out there as early as you can and get out of there as quick as you can.
Oh, God, I'm dreading it. Because we was going to go away for Christmas this year, but it's just worked out that with Lucas working, we forgot to take that into account on Christmas Eve and Boxing Day. That it's like, well, we can't, it's too expensive to find anywhere for just Christmas that will take the cats as well and get him home in time and all that malarkey that goes with it. So we're just having Christmas at home, a load of rubbish from Iceland, and video games and movies all day.
Nice. You see, I love this idea. I think it's fantastic. That's pretty much what we're doing. So, we're not doing it as a buffet. We're going to do like a turkey lunch. But apart from that, it's going to be exactly the same. Do absolutely piss all day. It's going to be nice.
Yeah. We reject the traditional Christmas lunch. Might get like a frozen turkey thingy out of Iceland or something. This is just like, we just can't even bother with the turkey bit anymore. It's Christmas. I look forward to it a bit more these days because I love seeing the kids happy and everything, but God damn it, I actually just can't wait for the day where the kids are fully grown up, hopefully don't have grandchildren, because why would they want kids? And then we can just go, sod it, off, go do your own thing. Go be with your own families or whatever. Not like your own families, but whatever, your partners or whoever you've got with you. Go and just enjoy yourselves. Don't have to worry about us. We're just going to sit at home, probably sleep most of the day, and have a coffee. That's perfect Christmas.
That'll do me.
And isn't that really the spirit of Christmas?
I reckon it is.
I'd love to see the movie that's that.
We should make it. We should film it in your house.
A Christmas wish. Just two people sat there going, coffee, and that's it.
Yeah.
For 2.5 hours.
I love it.
Who's that? Who's the Dutch director? Lars von Trier. Sounds like it could be a Lars von Trier film.
Yeah, it would. All shot with natural lighting and completely depressing.
Yeah. Well, our lighting is rubbish anyway. We've got one smart bulb that came with the Amazon thingy. I won't say its name because it's listening.
They're always
which
listening.
Isn't as bright as it needs to be.
Same here.
But all the others I've got to get up and manually. Dave.
You've got to manually Dave?
Yes, I thought you said what's her name.
No.
Oh.
I said me neither or something. I don't know. It was seconds ago. I can't be expected to remember that. But yeah.
No. But anyway, yeah, talking of Christmas, do you know what you can get in your presents?
In your stocking?
You can get my legs in your stocking. Yes, sure. Do you know what you could get in your stocking?
Yeah. What can you get?
Video games.
Hey, video games.
That's again. I keep saying they're the worst one yet, but I don't know. That was poor. I just couldn't think of how to put Christmas to video games.
Well, you did it nicely enough for my liking.
I could have gone nights, couldn't I? Could have gone for nights.
Well, it's that time of year.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a demo. But yeah. Anyway, I dare say you haven't been playing Nights into Dreams Christmas Nights into Dreams.
Oh yeah.
No. But what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing everything and nothing. I've been playing games that I've liked and then games that I've hated and games that I've refunded. It's been a very, very busy week.
Oh dear God! Imagine if that was all the same game.
Do you know, it pretty much was? No. But it was a very strange week. Now, I'll start with a purchase that I've been happy enough with, and that's a game called Subpar Pool, which is a funny name anyway, because it's or hinting that it's a bit shit. But it's not a bit shit, it's just that you are trying to get below par on a course because it's a sort of split between golf and pool. Now that sounds like hell, I admit it freely, but it's actually not bad. The golf side of it is kind of minimal. It's much more of a kind of a pool game. So what it is, it's think of, the Shotgun King, where it's like, oh, we'll take the basics of chess and we'll just chop the rules up, use bits and pieces of it, throw in sort of, stats and boosts and XP and all of that. Oh, not XP, but stats and boosts and stuff like that. It's kind of like that, but with pool. And it's just normally kind of complete this set of challenges that are laid out like mini golf, but you're knocking a ball against another ball like you do in snooker and pool, billiards, whatever. And they kind of throw different types of weirdness at you, like you're only allowed to pot with a long shot, or you're only allowed to bounce it off the cushion once or twice before it goes in the hole, or here are some random black balls that you're not allowed to hit, all sorts of stuff like that, right? You get the picture.
I do, yes.
And there's not much more to say about it other than that. It's a tiny little indie game, looks really pretty. It's really good in what it does. The only gripe I have, and it's not a gripe, it's just like, ooh, what could have been, or ooh, what they should put in a sequel, is there's no, you can't change the amount of power you put into your shot, and although you can't change where you're striking the ball. Now, either whether they decide this game is actually golf or whether they're deciding it's actually pool, both of them allow for that. In golf, it's like how you, now I don't know the terms in golf very well, but how you shank it and whether you want it to run on, whether you hit it at the top of the ball or below, I don't know, pitch and chip and all that crap. I know pool and snooker, that's my side of it. So, whether you want to apply stun, whether you want the ball to run on, whether you want to do backspin, whether you want to put side, you can't do any of that. And I think they perhaps should have put in even a rudimentary amount of that. If they didn't, then they should definitely have allowed you to choose your amount of power. Other than that, it's really good at what it does, but it's kind of like a straight down the middle of the road good game, and you could elevate it, I think, in a sequel. But for what it is, it's absolutely good.
Yeah, no, I've played this as well. I picked it up. I think I picked it up really cheap. It was really cheap in a sale. And I just went, do you know what? Go on then. It was on my wish list. I went, go on. At that price, I can't not. And overall, I'm in agreement with you with everything on the power and the adjustment side of it. I wonder if this is because maybe getting the physics right on power and side or whatever, just in power, is something that was maybe a bit beyond them and just didn't work at the time.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe it's something they could bring in for a sequel. If there is a sequel, it'd be nice. I'd like to see more done with this. What it does remind me of, though, and it's a game I really, really miss, and I'd love to see come back. Do you remember the Pickford Brothers?
I do, yeah.
Do you remember Magnetic Billiards?
I do, although I've not played it.
Oh, right. That was basically got a very... It's not like golf or that, but it's the idea is you got to match the pool balls with, you got to hit the pool ball into another pool ball, or billiard ball rather, into another billiard ball, and you get points for creating patterns if they all hit the right colours and stuff like that. It reminded me very much of that simplicity, where you've just got this very simple core concept, and you could do it on a touch screen or you could whatever. But I'd love them to have released a PC version of that. And that's what this kind of reminded me of. But I really like this. I like the concept, the mashup of golf and pool. I'm okay with the lack of power options because it's literally press and go. And I kind of like that. But it does limit it after a while, and I'm with you on that. Your only options you've got is more and more complex tables. Whereas I think if you add things that are maybe power and spin and maybe make something that's maybe a bit more golfy in a level, then you can add some other elements to it that aren't just more and more complex tables with different ball placements.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, but as you said, it's a good game. And that sometimes just all right. That's fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And I agree about the difficulty as well. It gets pretty difficult pretty fast. So,
Yes.
yeah, a good game, but not an absolute game changer. Yeah.
And it's the people behind the amazing Rimmed Capsule as well, by the way.
Good name.
Which if you haven't played that, if you haven't played Rimmed Capsule, and I'm probably butchering it, give that a go. It's a really good builder strategy game, but just very, very, very basic. Again, it's almost like this does. It takes the core concepts of something else and gives it its own thing. But yeah, that's a really good game if you want to support them any further. And I've just noticed, sorry, I'm going to go on. They are also behind the absolutely, and I'm adding it to my wish list because I had it on my phone, Hold Down. And it was brilliant and addictive as bloody hell. I forgot they did that, but that's on Steam as well.
I've played that, on mobile. It's like literally the only thing I've played on mobile apart from Pac-Man 256 for about 15 years. Yeah,
really,
it's a really good game.
Weren't it?
Yeah. So what have you been playing?
Oh, I've been playing a bit of Subpar Pool, and I'm going to probably try and finish that off. But anyway, I played one I've kind of been playing for ages. I forgot it was in early access. Oh, I thought it came out as a complete game, but apparently it wasn't out as a complete game. It was early access, and I got a bit of a nudge from one of the PR team going, "Hey, if you've not covered your coverage for Backpack Hero yet, please can you maybe think about sending it through?" And I'm sure I've done this. Oh, it's just come out again. What? Okay. So yeah, I've been playing Backpack Hero, and yeah, it's just fantastic. It's got a couple of the bits you don't like in it, so I don't expect much from you. Say like I'm a disappointed parent there, don't I? Don't expect much from you.
I wouldn't expect much from me in general, to be honest.
It's a deck building roguelike, in many respects. So I know that's you out straight away.
I'm gone.
Hey, gone?
No, I'm gone. I am gone.
I thought you was going to surprise me. Yeah. Except, and this might bring you back in the room, the aspect around it, the deck building side of it, is actually based around Resident Evil's inventory management. Are you back in the room a bit?
I don't know. Go on. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Everyone's favourite bit of Resident Evil.
Well, you'd be surprised. Quite a few. Yeah.
Basically, you play as this little mousy fella. I can't remember his name. Might not even have a name. I don't know. Who basically... There's a whole different overworld thing where you can meet people. No one cares about that. It's the core gameplay that matters in roguelikes. So basically, you go through these dungeons, and you got your backpack, and you can put a certain amount of items in your backpack. So you can put a weapon, a shield, some buffs, some debuffs, and loads of different things in there, and so on and so forth. And you basically have to make sure everything you put in goes in your backpack. You've got start off with 9 spaces, 9 squares, and a sword will take up 3 squares, for example. A shield will take up 4, but in a square pattern. And so on and so forth. And you just got to basically get them in so you can use them. But what it's really clever with is the different buffs and the different weapons and everything. They work together in your backpack. So you could get an arrow as a weapon, but you could also get a bow as a weapon. And if you place, for example, your arrow horizontally, but adjacent to the bow, which is then placed in vertically, you can get extra power because of how they're laid out and do more damage to enemies.
Gotcha.
And you can put a shield next to some armour, and you get bonuses and buffs. And it's not just those, it's loads of different things, like rings and crowns and bits of food items and instant buffs, area of effect type things. And they all work with each other based on how you place them in your backpack and the adjacency there is. And you start off very small with 9, but every time you win or you level up, you can expand your backpack. And eventually it just becomes this massive space where you can put in tons and tons and tons of different things. And you can have like knock-on effects. So like the bow and arrow that I mentioned earlier, you can start off with that, but you can also have it work with swords. And then it has this knock-on effect with a sword, or a sword has a knock-on effect with the arrow. And you could do damage to multiple enemies and increase that damage. And then something else you've put in there has an extra effect. So you really sort of get to play with everything. Sort of like how you get those adjacency bonuses and everything just really come together really well. And the enemies get bigger and better as you go. If you lose a run, you go back to your overworld. You can get different upgrades there, which allow you more things you can take into each dungeon. And it's just a really, again, just I think, as you said with Subpar Pool, I don't think it's for everyone, and I don't think it's anywhere near perfect. It's not. We're not looking at contenders for any awards or out like that. But it's very, very enjoyable, and one that I'm glad I got to go back to.
Nice, yeah. I mean, it sounds really good. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I might necessarily play, but it does sound like a good one, and it looks gorgeous. It's like I really like the style.
Yes, I'm a big sucker for that retros. It's not even retro these anymore, is it? These pixel art styles.
Well, there's so many of them. You could say it's the modern look, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's it's not 18. When I look at it, it's not 18, 16-bit or 18-bit or 8-bit or anything like that. It's just pixel art.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It has become its own aesthetic, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I'm not as hot on the overworld stuff personally. I like just the idea of just going through in a linear way. But it adds something, and there is a choice. You can play the classic way or the other way, so you do get choice with it as well, should you wish. And again, I appreciate that. It's a really nice thing to add, that they decided, well, people who played the early access really like this version of it. They might not be too keen on the full version when we've added stuff, so have at it. So yeah, I like that. Good on the developers for giving us choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Choice is always a good thing.
Yeah, and it's only small, so you haven't got to worry too much about your own Steam Deck inventory management. So it's like couple of 100 megabytes at most.
That's one of the benefits of these retro styled things, at least. Yeah.
Yes, they don't take 100 gigabytes of space. Someone should release one of these style games and make it like 150 gigabytes just for giggles. Just like best audio quality ever. Each file is about like 2 gigabyte for background music.
150 gigglebytes. Yeah.
Gigglebyte, there you go.
Yeah.
Gigglebytes.
Yeah.
Someone spells a title.
Totally do. I like to see these things in every now and again as well,
Yeah. And then I just go and point it out, like, yeah, Stu's being nice and subtle. I just go, title!
Subtlety's overrated anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You need to explain subtlety to me in an obvious way.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on. What have you been playing extra?
Yeah. So I had some weird times. So like, I had some stuff in my PayPal account. Well, I say stuff, I mean money, obviously, because you can't like throw like rubbish in there or cocaine or anything. Yeah. So I had some money I've forgotten to take out of it, which was nice. Not much, but enough to get a game. And so
you bought EA.
Oh, God. Do you know? Not for a fiver. I wouldn't even for a fiver. But
I would just get rid of all the CEOs and treat it as a proper indie company.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, but So I bought, and this might sound like I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not really going to talk about it. I bought Bomb Rush Cyberfunk because I got into a kind of Jet Set Radio kick after seeing the Sega re-release.
Sega are back.
They are, but not about this. I've got no excitement about this now because okay, let me qualify this a little bit. So, back in the day, I bought Jet Set Radio, obviously. I completed it, and I completed Jet Set Radio Future. JSF, JSRF, whatever.
Yeah, not to get confused with that airplane game that I always got it confused with.
Yeah.
Because it had the same initials.
That's very random. But it's also
true.
I enjoyed the sequel more, but I still didn't think it was great, really. I mean, it was just so different. The games were so different from what was around at the time, and pushing things in a new direction and stuff, and looked so pretty. You know, I can be a graphics whore at times. In retrospect, Jet Set Radio, the first one, it's not a good game. It's just not a good game. And this Bomb Rush Cyberfunk fixes a couple of the problems with it. So it fixes the boring crappiness of the way that you spray paint, right? Which was way too rubbish. Too small a window, too awkward to do, blah, blah, blah. So it fixes that, but it doesn't fix the fundamental problem, which is the physics, which are awful. You've got this great big floaty jump that just drags all of the energy out of the experience. Takes it all away from the action, because you've got the fast, fizzy railing, but the minute you're off that, it's rubbish. The trying to get on and off the rails is rubbish. The jump is far too vertical rather than, horizontal. All this stuff, right, desperately needs an overhaul, and has had an overhaul for the last 20 years. And one of the things that has overhauled it, like you started with right way back with Sonic Adventure 2, which is in itself far from perfect, but did the railing thing and jumping between them way better. And that's almost 20 years old, or might be now. But, it's been iterated on tons since. And one game that's iterated on it and is way better is a game that I paid literally a tenth for and is much better, which is Sunset Overdrive, which I never bothered with before. Now, I've not played a lot of it, but whether it's a good game or it isn't, I don't know yet. It's Insomniac. Good. I was going to say, it's Insomniac, so it's bound to be a good game. They've not made a bad one in the last sort of 15 years. And also, they did a lot of the railing stuff in the Electricity Boy game, whatever that's called. What was it called?
Electricity Boy?
Yeah. What was it called?
Oh, the superhero-y type. Oh,
yeah.
But you can be bad thing. And the one that wasn't Prototype, which came out at the same time.
That one.
Infamous.
Hey, that's it. I prefer the name Electricity Boy, I have to say. But so yeah, it's got a lot of DNA from Electricity Boy. But yeah, so far it seems really good, and it does all that thing about movement that you should have in this sort of a game. So it's like jumping is decent, but you want to get onto a rail. And when you do get onto a rail, it's easy to get on and off, and it's fun. And the last game I played prior to this that had tons and tons of railing was Ghost Runner 2, and that's only about a month ago, and that had really good railing. So I'll finish this by...
Please.
Right. Why? Oh, the sex thing. Sorry. Okay, what do you call it? Rail riding?
No, you have got the correct term, but it's just the way you're saying it. It sounds like you're saying it
deliberately.
It sounds like you're saying it with the implication. You go like almost like, I feel like I'm Mac and you're Dennis, and it's like you're oh dear, no, you can't. But carry on.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah, no.
No, carry on. It's kind of funny at the same time.
Well, yeah, interrailing, let's call it. That's a good. That's something else again.
And I'm sure that's a category on one of those specialist websites.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah. Oh dear, can't get away from it. But yeah, interrailing. So yeah, rail riding, interrailing, getting railed, all that. I've been getting railed all this year, and it all does it better than this. So just the final thing to say is, it's made me really worried about the next Jet Set Radio. They're calling it 3, I think, but it looks like a remake to me. And they really seriously need to rebuild how that thing moves to make it a good modern game. They really do. Anyway, apart from that, Shinobi, can't wait. There we go.
Before you go, thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? Because I hate you now. No, I don't.
Yeah, fair play.
No. Jet Set Radio is an all-time classic. An absolute all-time classic. Warts and all. It changed it changed a lot of things with video games. The aesthetic it has, and I still think it's the one game that has stood the test of time in the 3D era more than anything in terms of visuals alone.
Yeah.
And the way it integrated audio and the sense of style, but yeah, it's a lot of style over substance. Jet Set Radio. I actually thought the second did improve on it in so many ways. I love Jet Set Radio Future. I got that on my Xbox in a double pack, I want to say, with something else. Maybe not. I don't know. But I got that on my Xbox, and it was...
I think you could.
I came with Forza. I'm sure
there
it did. Jet Set Radio and Forza. Maybe not. Someone correct me on that. Well, you won't, but no one will. I say like we got millions of listeners, and someone's going to definitely write in. Anyway, we're not easy allies. We're easier on the eyes. Anyway.
Ouch.
What? Sorry. I was saying you're a sexy person.
Thank you. That's appreciated.
But yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. It is an homage, warts and all. And I think that's its problem. That it does need... Gaming has moved on. And I enjoyed Bomb Rush Cyberfunk as a curio more than an actual... this is a game I adore. I'm going to play a lot of. It's a nice curio, just like Jet Set Radio is nowadays. Back in the day, it was innovative. And yeah, you go back to it, it's changed. But I think there's a lot it done. And there's a reason so many people adore it. But it's a curio now, and you're right, whatever they do with this next one, they have got to take from other games that have improved on it. And Sunset Overdrive, ironically, I think it's like £3.74 at the moment. It's reduced down. And yeah, it's got its faults. Some people weren't overly keen. I think it got like 7s across the board for a lot of people, but I think it's one of those games where people are looking back on it again now, but with actually this is a lot better than it reviewed, and at £3.74, if you don't find less than a fiver's worth of fun out of it, then just give up all your games consoles and controllers and PCs and Steam accounts and the lot, because yeah, it's Insomniac, it's a quality game. Some of the humour, I would say, has aged. That's about the only thing I will say. It's got a few tropes in there, but overall, I do really, 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 really like that. So, yeah, get Sunset Overdrive. Yes, no, I agree with you. I do actually agree with you on that. I think some things have really stood the test of time. It's influenced so much, but you go back to it, as I did, I think, last year, the last time I played it, and it was just like, I was forcing myself to enjoy certain aspects of it, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So, what else have you been playing then?
Are you going to mention Shinobi?
I can always mention Shinobi. It was I was going to say.
You said you refunded a game. What did you refund?
Bomb Rush Cyberfunk.
Oh, you refunded Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And
another game that I also bought with money. Which we are going to talk about, I think. A game that you're rather a fan of.
Yes. Here's a little tip, Stu, right? Here's a little tip.
Yeah.
If I love something so much...
yeah.
Right, don't buy it.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. Right, okay. So if anyone can't guess, go on, Stu. What's the game you didn't like?
Well, as insane as it seems, and there are qualifications for this, it's a Highland song, which I couldn't stand, which is just going to amaze people, because it's like, but it's a simple game and it's beautiful, and it's like, yeah, I know, but so here are the buts, right? Big buts, and I can't lie. I didn't enjoy that kind of interaction with the game, and like, although I'm constantly banging on about playing action games and being into action games and games must have action, I actually like games where you just wander around and do nothing occasionally. I can really genuinely do, like, Gone Home and Stanley Parable, loads of them. I ironically would have preferred this if it didn't have video game elements in it, or very few. I found like the quote unquote platforming to be just irritating and get in the way. The climbing was just unnecessary. I found the whole resting and like trying to avoid it being raining and not being able to, and sheltering and there never being any shelter. I just found all that really stressful. And like when you had to find things on the map, and I'd be like, I can't see anything that looks like this. I was like, oh, okay, that kind of looks like it. And then she'd be like, no, it's not that. And I'm like, what? And it just seemed to like completely rub me up the wrong way in every step. And then, right, and this wasn't the final bit I played with it, I got stuck on the side of a hill. It was down a hill and by a lake. And if you went into the lake, you died. And it was too steep to climb back up. And there was no checkpoint from before it. So I had to restart the game entirely. Which I did. And I played again for another, well, probably an hour. But I was like, that completely biffed me. I could have lost, 2 or 3 hours worth of game on that. So yeah, it's a game that I would kind of like to watch somebody else play, but I never ever want to play it myself again, ever. Thanks.
And you know what? That's absolutely fair enough. I knew that as soon as and I don't mean just like you having maybe a reaction to it. You know what I like, Stu, that as soon as something grabs me, I'm all in, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever until the next best thing ever comes about. And I can go from, I pick my game of the year on the 1st of January sometimes, and it's like, this is it. And then on the 3rd of January, I find the next, oh my god, this is it. I do that. It's what I do. I can't help myself. And I think with this one, I played it, I adored it, I loved it, and for me, it is still my game of the year. But as soon as I finished talking about it and I listened back to what I'd said about it, what I'd written about it, I just went, I know I'm going to go and say to people that this is the best thing I've played, and I'm going to get other people going, what? Is it? Because that's the sort of game it is, I think. And I think you're right. I think somewhere it's between a video game and a quote-unquote walking simulator, and doesn't quite commit enough to either. But for me, that's part of the charm with the general setting of it, and the way it uses the natural environment around it to create a faux survival element, because you haven't really got to worry about surviving, but it's there. As I said, it's there, and wouldn't lose anything by taking it out, but it's not egregious enough that you want it out, for me anyway. But I found it all added to it, and I played it through start to finish in a few sessions, and I just absolutely adore it. But as soon as I suggested it to you, I almost wanted to turn around and go, actually, Stu, maybe, I don't know whether this is for you or not. And I don't want to say that as though I'm like highbrow and you're not or anything, because that's far from the case. Because I love like Bring It On as one of my favourite films, so I'm definitely not highbrow. So but yeah, I loved it. I get why others don't. But the way I'm looking at it, you've got people either have just not got on with it, or other people have gone Game of the Year. I think Yahtzee's new team and everything, they've all said Game of the Year contender at least. So I'm kind of looking at it going, right, it's not just me. I'm pleased that it's not just me. But at the same time, there's lots of people like yourself who have just gone, what is this? Maybe not as squeaky, but...
Or maybe they were. But yeah, no, it's... I honestly don't mind you saying, or if you had said you didn't, but if you saying that I'm lowbrow, because I am lowbrow when it comes to games. Pretty much I am. I honestly don't mind, because when it comes to films, I'm pretty highbrow, I mean, like, if you... Like, the last, 3 films I've watched are Aporia, East of Eden, and May December. So, but I was going to say, like, the reason why It's exactly the same with film reviewers as game reviewers. When you consume so much content, you start to rarefy it, because if something is like good but solid and you've seen it a load of times before, you're going to be, often they are disproportionately harsh on them, which is the reason why stuff like Street Fighter 3 all those years ago, and to a lesser degree Street Fighter 6, only get like, oh, it's a 7, it's an 8. It's like, fuck no, it's a 10, mate, come on. You know, that's the reason why they end up with lower scores, and reasons why, you know, things like a Highland song may get slightly higher, because it's something new for the palate, for a jaded palate. But you have to be conscious of that. You have to be really careful. And we don't give scores, so we don't have to worry about any of this shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's really good. But I see everything in it that you like, and I'm really genuinely looking forward to watching somebody play it and being able to listen to the story and the music, and, you know, look at the visuals and enjoy it, because I really will enjoy it like that, I think.
What we should do is we should start giving scores. We're not going to, because that's part of our whole ethos. But just see how many games we can go. 10 out of 10, 3 out of 10. We can go, right, this is a 10 out of 10, but it's also a 3 out of 10.
Also a 3, yeah. At the same time, yeah.
Like our like, if it gets a Brad 10 and a Stu 3, you know that's an Edge 7. That's how we should do our scoring. Just aggregate them. So Brad 10, Stu 3, Edge 7.
Nice. Right, we're doing that from now on. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's it. We're scoring, but it's like, is it a 10? Is it a 3? Or an Edge 7? There we go. That's what when we agree on one, it's an Edge 7.
Sounds good.
Anyway, moving on, because I've not spoken about my second and third games. I'm going to skip the third game this week, because I'm still not sure about my third game yet. But anyway, second game is Ball of Bread.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is, have you played Mario Party? Yes, there you go, Ball of Bread. There's my review. Yeah. Not Mario Party. Oh, right, let's go back. Have you played Paper Mario? That's more like it. Have you played Paper Mario? Ball of Bread. So, yeah, there's definitely, over the last couple of years at least, there's been a lot of people that have realised how good the original Paper Marios were and how pretty average the most recent Paper Marios are, and gone, we could do better, and they generally have. And Ball of Bread is another one. It's a party-based RPG where you play a boy who, during an attack on a castle, is bald. And you'll never guess how he's bald.
He's not an electricity boy, is he?
No, he's not an electricity boy.
Basically, he's a bread boy.
He's a bread boy. He's Pop. He's Papa, who's a baker, unsurprisingly, pops a loaf of bread into the oven during this attack and this magical attack that's going on, and he pops out humanoid, made of bread. And the attack goes on, they get cast out into the big wide world, and you meet people in the big wide world as you go back to save the castle and the everything that's going on there. You have turn-based battles with timing mechanics like you get in the Paper Mario games. He's got a totally original name. He's called Loaf. The little bread boy. It's called Loaf.
Bloody hell.
So
put some effort in, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I like it. If you're gonna, if you're having a character that's like made of bread and that's the name of your title, then at the same time, just go, yeah.
Right, give me to the end of this. You carry on talking. I will think of a far better bread-based pun name than that in the next 5 minutes.
Well, considering his dad's name is called Kinsmill, you know, it's not.
Even that's not. Oh, okay, carry on.
I told you before about my sister, when she was not younger, thought that Elvis actually did own the Kinsmill factory, didn't I?
No, but it sounds good.
I'll tell you about that another day. Yeah, but my sister thought that Elvis, due to the advert, was actually the owner of the Kinsmill. Thought it was historically accurate.
Wow.
I know. Wow. She was in her 20s at the time, I think.
Oh, bloody hell.
But yeah, no. Anyway, Ball of Bread. It's a. I don't know what to say. That's going to say it's not just. It's a clone of Paper Mario, and that's all you need to know. It is honestly enjoyable. It's got a really good cast of characters in it. It's got some really nice humour in it. It's really well presented. The combat mechanics are really well done. It's not too much and too difficult to learn. That 2D characters on a 3D world, I think is a lovely art style. And I'm here for it. I want to see this put into more game types rather than just RPGs, because there's something about it. I think I said before, I think this would work brilliantly on like a sports game, like an arcadey sports game. I think that style will work well. But it's lovely. It's got a very nice story with all the different things you'd expect of people trying to save their life, or sort of like save the world type thing going in there. And yeah, it's just enjoyable. I'm kind of playing it. I almost forgot I had it because I've just been playing it on and off. And it's like, it's not one where it's gone, oh my god, this is Highland Song amazing. But at the same time, it's not one where I've gone, oh, Stu, I hate this Highland Song bad. So, it's this is an Edge 7, Stu.
Excellent.
No, it's really, really good, but I don't know what else to say about it other than it's Paper Mario, but with bread. A boy, bread boy. So
Bread Boy. I'd like to see Bread Boy fight Electricity Boy. That's kind of something I would like.
But I could do a playthrough of this on Twitch or something, and we could call the series Ball of Bread.
Yes, you could.
Well, considering I've got a friend, like one of my closest friends, her daughter, when she was younger, used to call me Uncle Bread. So,
hey, yeah, there we are.
She couldn't say Brad.
Yeah,
I did want to point out that there's like extra letters in that in bread that you've got to work through, and it's like one of those words that's a bit really bread. You know, it's a bit weird to then try and put together, but she can say that but can't say Brad. But I mean, come on. I don't care if she's only like 16 months old or whatever. Right, come on. What are we teaching these kids?
Kids today, mate.
I know,
terrible.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely.
With their better understanding of language and information and generally being more intelligent than we are. How dare they?
How dare they? God damn it.
But yeah, Ball of Bread, really, really good. And it's got some elements. It's almost like, this wasn't planned at all. There's some elements where it's got like Backpack Heroes inventory management in there a little bit, like Tetris style inventory management. It's not a major part of the game, but it's just in there. And I thought, cool, that's pretty cool that it links. Other than it's just like linked in my head just now, not that I would played any of that or the games are linked. Just I went, oh yeah, it's got that in it. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I've got you your bread name, by the way.
Oh, go on then.
It's Peter. Or Pitta, as we say in the UK, which I think is actually the right way. I think we're copying the Greeks when we say Pitta. But you could, But
isn't that one of those where Pitta is bread? So you say bread.
Yeah, well, you're saying that with a loaf as well, really. Loaf of bread is bread.
But you say a loaf of bread. You don't say a Pitta of bread or a naan of bread.
So are you saying that he has to be called something that can go with of bread, like born of bread?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's very limiting.
I don't care. That's the rules. That I've just arbitrarily made up because...
Yeah.
I don't like you getting one over on me, so I'm changing the rules at the last minute like a 2-year-old.
Nice. But yeah, no, I would say, they could go with Peter if we're going to do that. Peter, whatever.
I am like playing Snap with a 2-year-old where you beat the 2-year-old at Snap. They go, well, no, technically, that's not the rules. I don't know what 2-year-old is going, well, technically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm getting 2-year-olds throwing technicalities at me all the time.
Yes, yeah. See, that's what I mean. They're getting clever. We shouldn't trust the children, Stu.
No,
I think the Conservative have it right.
They totally do.
That's why they don't want children voting. Too clever. They're going to take over, Stu.
Oh, God. I don't want that. Yeah, no, I do.
Yes.
The kids are all right. But that's me.
I would actually just go, do you know what? Let's just give the country to the children's now and see what they could do.
Yeah. Teach them right and let them lead the way. But,
yes. Don't teach them right, teach them left.
Teach them correctly. Okay, let's ruin the song. Teach them correctly and let them lead us into the future. There you go.
There you go. We've just fixed another song. That'll anger.
Fuck you, artistic license.
Yes. And we can anger the gammons at the same time.
Yeah.
And with that, Stu, I think I'm blabbering now, so I think it's time I shut up.
Okie dokie. Well, I've got a couple more that I won't bother talking about because I seriously doubt I'm going to be able to get anything new between now and Christmas. If I do, it's going to be Asgard's Wrath 2 on the Quest 2, if I can possibly afford it. But, well, I don't know, presents to buy. But yes, apart from that, hope everybody's Christmas prep is going well if you are somebody who celebrates that time of year. If not, whatever your faith is, hope you're enjoying getting ready for that. If you ignore it because of your faith, that's absolutely great as well. Christmas sucks.
But get out of my country. No.
Get out of... No.
No.
So,
more than welcome.
Brad does not speak for me. I think I've mentioned this many times.
I don't speak for me. No, everyone's welcome. Of course we know that. We're not gammon fucks.
Totally. So, until next week, make sure you follow us on all the socials. Check out all of our content on the rest of social media and on the website. And in the meantime, stay safe and stay sane.